So Atta Akyea has been speaking to City FM and explaining why he's not going to run, um, and why he's hanging up his gloves. He says, as if you were called to solve mass poverty. He talks about the unceasing demands of constituents on their MPs across the country. He says, I believe 16 years is a good time to hang up your gloves. I'm not a young man. There's no more serious undertaking in politics than to become a member of parliament. I believe becoming a member of parliament is the most difficult vocation anybody can pursue. As if you were called to solve mass poverty, incessant individual demands on the MP by the constituency. For example, how do you feel about buying a coffin for a family in relation to a deceased individual you don't even know? So, I mean, he's re-echoing something that we've often heard MPs say, that it's a thankless job, it's very difficult, very stress-inducing. Their constituents are on their backs all the time, wanting them to solve problems for them, you know, and it's all well and good. But my interest is this: nobody does something that is detrimental to, unless you are mentally ill. You do everything in your own interest. Yeah, it's only people whose rationality centers are not functioning anymore, who will work against their own interest. Every human works in their own interest. It's just a survival instinct.
Or you are selfless.
You are what?
Selfless.
Yeah, but even when you are selfless, you don't work to your own detriment. You want to help others, but if you harm yourself, how will you keep helping others? So even selfless people work to their personal benefit. So the day I realized that there must be something about being an MP that is so valuable was the day I saw Ursula Owusu-Ekuful in 2016 in her constituency, sleeping on the floor just so that she can be in the room for the counting of her ballots. She slept on the floor. Ursula Owusu-Ekuful. I remember watching that and saying to myself, there is something in this job that we all don't know. Otherwise, why would people be falling over themselves to get it? Look at KT Hammond running around trying to disqualify everybody just so that he can be MP. I mean, there is clearly something there. So when I hear these sub stories about, oh, they come to us for this, they come to us for that, I still see then the benefit must far outweigh all of this. Otherwise, why do you run for a second term, third term, fourth term? Some people have been in parliament, 7 times? Come on, there's something in the soup.
Well, yes, I mean, admittedly, mostly the people, when they say that it's a difficult job, it's not when they are entering into it or when they have been there for a term. In fact, people have actually decided that they will do all things, including going to jail, just to remain members of parliament, or the prospect of actually being jailed anyway, because we've had MPs who have ended up in jail because of election-related matters. Let's not kid ourselves. People want power, and I also agree that our politics is demand and supply. The MPs, they took on more illegal responsibilities than their real responsibility, which is be representative of the people and as their legislators. They decided that the best way to win the election was to go and promise that I'll fix everything, including paying school fees, paying for funerals, paying even people's marriage. And I just want a license to reproduce. That one too, the member of parliament.
Let me tell a very funny story.
He's paying for it.
This is just by the way. So one MP, this guy walks up to him and says he should help him marry. And he told him that, oh, so if I pay the bride price, it means I have married the woman. Would you let her come and spend some days with me too?
This guy will lose the election.
But eventually he lost his marriage.
Why would you lose the election if you take this trend?
No, but that was just...
Yeah, but why
why
are we imposing all of these things on them? Because they call it for themselves. Some of them merely because he's a deputy minister or has been in government in good times, right? Now go sharing money to everybody. He gets to become MP. Your party loses power. Now I see the reality of, hey, the job is too difficult. Why? I don't have the money any longer. Then you are not angry that the people are coming to you for a thing. I agree that the pressure we put on MPs makes it difficult for us to discern the right people. Even how much they have to pay to be MPs in the first place. The kind of people they have to bribe along the primaries chain and all of that. That's dangerous. That's not acceptable. Sometimes, see, when they do all that, some of the MPs, all that they get is like 10,000 cedis.
Look,
and they have to pay school fees, pay all of the other things. Abba.
I mean, I certainly know what MPs go through. But I ask a very simple question. Why do the people think that they must all come to you? What is it, first of all, that you did that convinced them that you're in to solve all their problems? And two, you see, this is the other point. People go to parliament just because they want to be ministers also, particularly when their party comes into office. And I've heard people say, I remember when I used to be a parliamentary correspondent, you're interviewing people during budget, and they say, what's your deputy minister? That's the first point. They want to be deputy ministers. They want to ensure that they actually get to the, one of the ministries, because that's a way of getting money. Now, once you do that, and once you stand on platforms, you're promising that, when I come, I'll construct your roads, I'll be there for you, I would support you, the people will come to you. But it's also because we have built a political system where the political elite consistently and continuously impoverishes the people and throws anything at them during an election. So once it happens like that, the people believe that they must consistently depend on you, their member of parliament. But for that, why would they do that? So the question is, now who caused them? If you don't like it, like General Mensa said, if the kitchen is too hot for you, get out. It's good. Atta Akyea has realized that it's become difficult. I know a former member of parliament. He published this, so I think I can say it. Ofosu Asamoah, the current executive secretary of the National Labour Commission. In those days, he said 4x4 by far when he was going for the 2015 primaries. When he was going for the 2011 primaries. So he won that for his fourth term. Then he said he was not going to go again. Why? Because somebody met him driving and asked him to drive him to the KVIP.
I say a car now.
And he says very soon somebody will ask for your wife before you become a member of parliament. So he wasn't going to go again. It's also because the people think they've given a job. And in a lot of the rural areas, that's their thinking. They've given a job because they see what happens. And that's why some MPs don't even go home with their new cars.
They've given you a job.
Yeah, so you have to pay them.
Yeah, they are representative.
But they think that you must pay them now.
Yeah, because that you are not doing the job. So you have to pay pecuniary to the people. If you cannot do it, leave the place. Kwame Penim says what we need 5 American lawyers to replace the entire parliament. It will fasten the pace at which we need to do that if we clear the MPs.